Rahobat Moisar, and welcome to another live reading. Our scroll for today will be Actual Fact number 31, entitled Good and Evil, or in our Misbatia, Lahaj, Wawegu Dawao, or Dawel. All right. So, our course of action before we get started, we're just going to do a few breathing exercises. We're going to do a few, let's just do a few movements of stretching with the breathing exercises because I feel a little stagnant myself. Let me take this off because it's not necessary. It's warming. So let's all start by standing up and acknowledging our anatomy. And you're going to assess, am I in the image of natural nature or unnatural nature? You're going to assess that right through your breath. How are you standing? All right. Are you using your body properly? All right. How are you sitting? Let's say you're sitting down, because you can sit down and do many of these exercises. All right. So are you crossing your legs? That throws you out of alignment. Are you slouching? Do you stand like this? Is your pants sagging? All those things is going to affect our breath. All right. So just take a moment and feel everything come down to center through your breath. And everything is just slowing down through your breath. So take a deep breath in through your nose, letting your stomach relax so your diaphragm can have its proper movement. Start with a deep breath. All right. So we say samai meaning complete union breath, being in union with all parts of your lungs. This is very important, especially with all these different contaminants, viruses, and different things that's plaguing, right? The different plagues that we're having to we have to test to see, all right, what we're being exposed to. Can we meet the challenge and surpass it? You'll be surprised what nature can do for you, all right, when you're breathing properly. All right, that's explained in the breath book as tuberculosis, Bobby explained, tends to hide in the top part of our lungs. All right, so many of us somewhat shallow, deep, breathe. That's how a lot of us breathe. And a lot of people slouch. Some people even mouth breathe. And then you'll notice that only this mid part of your lungs is expanded. All right. And if some people wear corsets and they just, all right, shoulder breathing. So only using the top part of your lungs. But for the most part, most people just use the mid lungs. All right. So when you keep every part of your lungs active, all right, it's harder for contaminants to go into hide because contaminants are very intelligent. They go to dormant parts of our bodies to kind of grow, all right, replicate itself, all right. So when you're using everything and you're keeping the energy active, it's a form of protection, all right, because stagnance is where things tend to grow. So tuberculosis can actually go and hide in different parts of your body, as Bobby explained, in your lungs. All right. So when you're doing a deep breath, it acts like a vacuum because your diaphragm is engaged. All right. And it gets to descend downward. All right. And then air will automatically be pulled into the mid part of your lungs. And as you keep inhaling, the stomach starts to go in after it already expanded down and out. And it expands upward. All right. And when everything is fully expanded, you'll fill your lungs to its full capacity. You hold the breath for a moment. And then you breathe out. All right. I'm just using my arms to show what the breath is doing. All right. So you can stand with your arms to your side or sitting down, but it's better to start standing up. Sitting down is fine too. And just keep your arms to your side. But I'm demonstrating with my hands what it feels like. All right. So let's do a breath together. Breathing in through your nose. So notice that when I raised my hand to the top, everything was completely expanded. I held the breath for a moment because Baba explains that's when we're taking in the Sakhem calling life force. All right. So we're absorbing the life force. You take you give your body a chance to absorb that, which you see all the natural races originally, all right, were aware of that. All right. So you hear the Orientals, they say chi, all right. The Hindus, they say prana. And we say Sakhem, and there's many other words for it, all right, which the Western or the Pakistani, all right, they weren't aware of the counterpart of oxygen, all right. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out, all right. You could breathe in through your nose, you can breathe out through your mouth. You could breathe in through your nose. You could breathe out through your nose. All right. As long as you're breathing in through your nose, that's great. Depending on what you're doing, you might breathe out through your nose sometimes. You might breathe out through your mouth sometimes. And that's perfectly okay. You just never want to breathe in through your mouth. All right. Because the nose, it helps to warm and also filter everything that we take in. All right. So now you're going to just notice, where are you emotionally? Where are your thoughts? Is it somewhere in the future? Is it somewhere in the past? All right. Process those thoughts through your breath and feel yourself coming here into the present in the company of your fellow brothers and sisters. All right. We're here in the now together. What's going on with your body? All right. Where's that tension? Is your shoulders tension? Does your back hurt? Something going on. Feel everything just coming into alignment for yourself. It's alignment time, all right? Things are working out in your favor, all right? Through your breath. So you feel your body, if you were slouching a little bit, it's hard to slouch when you're breathing properly. So breathing properly automatically, so for a lot of us who may struggle with posture, all right, slouch shoulders and things like that. A big tip, just focus on your breath, and then you'll feel your spine as you breathe in. You'll feel it almost go click, 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 click. You'll feel everything just aligned. All right. And emotionally, what are you feeling? All right. And then take note of these emotions. Where in your body do you feel it? And you're going to realize that the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body is all one and the same. That's why we say complete union. We become in complete union with ourselves to become senses, to be in touch with our senses. So we have our senses and sensibility once again. All right. And that's how you raise the consciousness. All right. Or your awareness. And it starts off with self-awareness. All right. So now you feel yourself in tune with yourself, feel yourself in tune with all Paa Taraq, natural nature that's there to support you. All right. And as you breathe in the love, support, wisdom, and healing from Paa Taraq, you breathe out that same love, wisdom, support, and healing for your fellow brothers and sisters. That's the proper way to breathe. So everything that I'm saying, I'm really quoting from the breath book. So go ahead and read the breath book, all right? Because it's very practical and it's something that you can put into use into your life and apply to everything that we do, everything that we read. Read, because did you know that breathing itself is a prayer? So let's get the rhythm of the breath. Paa Taraq la ye rawuk em Yaanun. Paa babab la ye hu. Open the door to the breath of life, the soul of Yaanun. Open the door towards him. And you're going to notice that central door is inward. All right? Who? Because it's about who you really are, not what you became. Open the door towards him, towards who, which is really you, because you can't lie to yourself. All right? And notice that that doorway Bob is taking us to in that bridge to salvation, all right, is Pa'ut, the all expanding Pa'ut. Your very breath is the all expanding, all right? So let's get the rhythm of the breath. Consonants is raising, feeling myself being very happy, very pleased with my existence. So this is all just smile movements, all right, that I've been able to apply to my life, all right. So for yourself, you'll notice that you can have like pull and push movements. So everything that you do in life, you'll realize that the smile is going to be very practical, all right, to extend your life and for you to be more graceful. If you work out, just talking, your very movements, all right, it's more in tune because Baba said that we have to learn how to rebreathe, all right, and that's the key. Baba says that people who properly breathe, especially here in the West, is an elite class. Elite meaning very small amount of people breathe properly. So just by breathing properly, you're putting yourself in an elite class, all right? Then you'll realize that your whole consciousness and people, they argue and the different things that they do and the ego and this and that, you know, all that could be to our breath. The anxiety, the depression, all right? All right, the hormonal imbalances. So there's 3 breaths that Baba says to do. The first breath, though, is your basic smile because every breath that we're doing, even the breath that I did, all that is smile. So you cannot do any exercise until you perfect the smile. All right. So just take time. And it might feel awkward at first, but then it becomes natural. All right. And then when you perfect the smile, after that, you do the 3 exercises. All right. So the 2 and the one of them is really a prerequisite for all the other ones. All right. So one of them is called the cleansing breath. All right, this is great. We get to reventilate our lungs. That was a cleansing breath. So you breathe in the air to its full capacity. You hold the breath for a moment, and then you poke your lips out, holding in your cheeks, making a lot of pressure. So your lungs are completely empty. All right. So you let a little air out, stop, hold it. More. Let more out, let more out until everything's empty. And then you end up pushing the air out. So that's the cleanser breath. So just doing the cleanser breath, that is great. All right. So that's the exercise, one of them, of the three. Then you have the nerve revitalizing breath, nerve revitalization. All right. So you hear vitality, one of Baba's scrolls that touched many hearts and many lives and seemed very important was your potential scroll. So we learn about potency, all right? Potency, meaning being able to show up, all right? Impotent means ineffective, so effectively, all right? And then, so you could think of the word potent, effective, active, all right? Healthy, all right? Being able to show up, all right? For men, for example, being able to stand up, all right? You want to be potent, not impotent, all right? So you hear nerve revitalization, you hear the word vitality, life, all right? So that goes into your potential, all right? So you want to take a moment to charge up your nervous system because your nervous system is your seat of willpower, all right? Because you exist for the simple fact that many particles are centralized around a central point of your will to exist, all right? So you want to empower existence itself. And you use nerve force for your very heart beating. You use nerve force to process a thought. So when your brain gets active, you get new information, you get a spark and all that, that information has to travel, all right? And that's nerve force, all right? For me to make a decision, process the thought, again, that's nerve force. For me to go and move this chair to sit down, I'm using all my nervous system, all right, to move my leg. That's all your nervous system. And interpersonal, all right? So outside stimuli, that's all nervous system, all right? So to do this exercise, you take that same smile breath in, and while you're holding your breath, you're doing these movements 3 to 9 times, all right? So then you let the air out, all right? So your arms come out with little nerve force, all right? So it should be limp. And as it's coming towards your chest, all right? It looks like I'm going like this, but it's really I'm going straight out. It's just the camera angle. So maybe I do it this way. But I was looking at the camera. So let's say you're standing up, all right? And then your arms come out in front of you. We're very limp. And then as you pull in your back, you're building tension until you have a lot of tension. So much tension you're shaking. And you're pushing against an imaginary force with a lot of tension. The more tension, the more you're getting out of the exercise. And you do that 3 to 9 times. All right? And when you get to that last breath, you just breathe it out. So you were doing that while you were holding your breath. All right? And then you follow with a cleansing breath. So let's do that first exercise. All right. And now we're going to go right into the third exercise. So you have your cleansing breath, nerve revitalizing breath that we just did, which includes also the cleansing breath. And then we have the vocal breath. The vocal breath. A lot can be said about the vocal breath. So the vocal breath is great because it helps to round out the voice. Great for singers, public speakers, or just someone who generally wants to communicate effectively. All right. So a lot of the times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. A lot of us are tone deaf. All right. So as we get our tones back, we get our lahaj back, we're also learning emotional intelligence. All right. So it's one thing to take information and beat it over someone's head. All right. Your tone is off. All right. So you could take a non-ether, concept, so to speak, for lack of a better word. And if your tone is off, you turn into a 6 ether weapon. All right. So we want to get back in tune and in tone. And this breath helps us. All right. So you have more flexibility to your voice. All right. Nice sounding voice. That's what it is for. And more tone. All right. A lot of singers actually do this exercise, as some people know that Baba is a singer. All right. So to do this exercise, you do the same smile breath. All right. That same inward, but you do it as slowly as you can when you're inhaling. Once you finally inhale, you hold the breath for a moment, then you open your mouth really wide, and you let all the air out, all right, in one big movement, all right? So you let everything out. Not, it's like a fast, like try to get all the air out in one, all right, as fast as you can. So that's the smile, vocal breath, and you follow with a cleansing breath. And it should go like this. And sometimes I do the exercise if I'm in public and I do the exercise and somebody turns around. I just pretend that I sneeze. All right. And then somebody just says, bless you. All right. So if I feel like I want to do the exercise. And that concludes our smile breath exercises. All right. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to acknowledge our master teacher, who actually I got all this information from. All right. It's Baba Yaanun. Okay. So we're going to acknowledge our master teacher who brings us all together for the purpose of Ashuk. All right. For the purpose of Ashuk as a people, of renewing our story. All right. So all these facts that I shared with you, Baba has taken the time to put it together for us to heal as a people. All right. Abdul Kalam Tapalorat Mufa Kor Bisamus Papaut. Begin all prayers and thinking by using the all expanding. And as we acknowledge our master teacher, who brings us together as one people, from us, for us, by us, and to us, we are acknowledging ourselves in that story. And as we acknowledge ourselves, we're acknowledging each other. So you take a deep breath for the healing, guidance, and support from Panadaru, that Ashuk. And you're going to exhale that same Ashuk, guidance, healing, and wisdom to your fellow brothers and sisters. Baror, 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 nabab natar muktad. Nautz muktad beded patach. Nautz muklas beded Yaanun. Holy, holy, holy. Master Overseer Almighty. Holy is, you can break down that word holy in many ways. Holy, meaning the holy seed, the original seed. Holy meaning all existent. Ether. Holy meaning the whole picture, nothing missing. Master Overseer Almighty, us all working together. Na'ut Muqdad Badil Patah. No God except Patah. Why? Because the helping hand is at the end of your own arm. Ashuk is the key, but it is you who opens the door. And you take a deep breath through your thing of opening. They call it the pyramid, your nose, and activate that energy of Patah within you. Take responsibility and respond and heal. No God except Patah. No Savior except Yaanun, because we cannot lie to ourselves. Notice the door is inward. This is the affirmation that I am inside the divine love of the all expanding, and all divine love is in me. Paa Taraq. Anuki Jawef Pa Ashuk M Pa Pahut. Mukalal Ashuk Kawun Jawef Niya. Anuki Kasamun M Pa Pahut. Wu Pa Pahut Kawun Kasamun M Niya. Anuki Wahu Amin Pa Pahut. Wu Pa Pahut Kawun Wahu Amin Niya. Nakuk Kadon Naja Ame Kasam Em Pa Pahut. Wu Chabu Ameh Mushkas Nakuk Kado Kawal Kalal Pafif Nakuk Ayo Jawef Pa Pahut. Ame Wase Ame Ayani Kawun Lake Bakor Jawef Pa Pahut. Anuki Abed Biye Nafashni Pa Pahut Kawun Anuki Pa Pahut Kador Nakuk Kador Pa Pahut Amul Nakuk Amul. And as we chant for ourselves, we're chanting for each other, we're chanting for the master teacher, because he is a living and breathing flesh and blood example, like us, of Ashuk as a living and breathing Muntar, a living and breathing Muntar. Just breathe for a moment and feel this love and support. The highest aspiration that you can have is for you to also become a living and breathing Muntar, all right? Natar are the very forces of natural nature. Muntar, one who is of natural nature, all right? So that is one of our highest and most honorable things that we can strive to achieve. So we thank our teacher, Baba Yaanun, for embodying something that we can strive towards as a people, a living and breathing example. And we thank Panadaru for not forgetting us and for sending us our master teacher, for sending us this information that was sent down for us as a guidance and a healing. This is the scroll we will be reading today. And as you read the bottom of the scroll, it says, sent down for you Nuwapians. All right. So thank you for not forgetting us. Thank you for this divine love. And the same way that we ask for your acceptance, we are accepting of you. We are accepting of this guidance and healing. And we are accepting of Baba Yaanun.
Not only will they persecute you, they'll lie on you. They'll fabricate lies. They'll imprison you and create cases around you. The same way they tried to defame the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and then they tried to defame Malcolm X. That's what they'll do. They'll imprison you, and then they'll create lies to turn your own people against you. They'll persecute you after righteous name's sake. They're going to come after me eventually. They're going to say, that man is too dangerous. I don't like him. Let's make some lies up on him. Let's turn his people against him. Let's imprison him. And if we can, let's kill him, because his people won't help him anyway.